Should have enough for context on now. I did throw an awful lot of paint onto the palette before I started. Oh, someone looked at YouTube for half a second. That's quite funny. Yep, it actually works. Okay. Hey, someone's popped into the YouTube. Well, welcome. I'm going to be making a time lapse of this, so I'm kind of recording it live as I go along. I'm live in here now as well. It's on the Facebook too. But I'm not actually expecting any real company, so I'll tell you what. I'll put the YouTube page up, so if you want to make a comment or say anything, well, you're very welcome to do so. I'll do the same thing with Twitch. We'll keep an eye on that too. Yeah, so I've started this self-portrait in my curvy mirror. So I guess I'm about 4 hours in now. I've started to really establish some of those tones and colours, but I keep getting down to a small amount of paint. So that there, I can start chucking that on now. And it's got to get thicker, but that's all of it. That's all of that colour. So I'm going to have to mix a whole load more of this as I go along. To not be afraid of mixing more paint than I need. So that's that purpley colour that's in the ceiling. There's some of it in there, that's too dark. So I'm going to lighten that a bit. See how well this works. Right, that there, that's too light. But it'll do for the edges. So we'll chuck some, yeah, get a palette knife on it. Really chuck some paint on there. Okay, that's not mixed properly. I've also got my little silicone things, which are quite good for moving paint around that's already on the surface. Yeah, so I will be chucking some extra light on there, but first of all that should be the beginning of something. A bit more light into the middle of that there, and then we'll do a darker one going up towards the edge, which will be bluer as well. Maybe more purple, a bit more Windsor blue maybe. Let's try that coming out from the edge of the room. Really give me some good angles there. Yeah, nothing I can't touch up later, so it doesn't have to be all super slick and perfect. Yeah, nice bit of blue there. So it turns up here as well a bit around the edges of those. kind of disappears into an orange colour. Get that black there. And a bit of that going in here as well. Again, not mixed enough. But here, so I've got this shadow colour here. I'm going to put some orange in that, and a little bit of light, a little bit of yellowy light. We'll see how well that works. Yeah, that kind of does a job, sort of. Where else is it going to turn up? The edges of here, yes. It's got bits in it as well, which is annoying me, but I can pick them out afterwards. Where else? Where else is this going to go? You know what, I think there's a bit in there. Whatever. Okay. Let's take a bit of that, a whole load more light and orange. I don't want it to get really bright around here. There's definitely a bit more of it around there. See, I've got these edges of the we're going halfway in between these two now. Put those in the gap there. Get a big brush, work it in, or maybe a little bit of this. Silicone spatula. There you are. Very underrated painting technique. Yeah, smooths things off a little quite nicely. Work that light out a bit there. I quite like the way it breaks the edge of the paint up as well. Then get a big brush on the go. Got nowhere to put these. Got an old painting I can rest them on. Fine. Right. Let's get a big brush out as well. Hey, hello Jason. Have you is this the same Jason as I'm used to on the Facebook page? Is it Mr. Cranley? Or is it a new Jason? That would be exciting. Okay, got a sense of that light coming out now. There's a little bit more of this on the palette, but hey, there we go. was thinking of turning the microphones off for this and putting some music on, which I may yet do. So I'm quite eager to find out about my exciting new Jason now. I'm going to have to stop and check that. I'm not telling me anymore. Open this blind. Oh. There's a few really lovely qualities of light that I really need to get, and in order for it to work, all of this has to get grayer. It's going to go all the way up there. And greener. To red just to bring it back. And again, I'm back into these rather thin mixes, but no, it's doing something. That is going to be bluer there. It's that inside of the frame of the window. At the top there as well, definitely inside at the top. These are other places where I can use these colours I've found. I can put that on with a knife, even darker than that. Destroying my face at the same time, but no harm done really. The angle, have I got that angle? It's steeper. It's steeper than that. Does that work? Something like that. I want that hard edge on. And I can go back in. Can't remember what colour I had. Let's make that a bit sharper. A bit yellow maybe. There we go. So there's a nice sharp edge on that now, which I quite like. There's a sense of that window frame too, and a sense of this extra light that comes out the middle here. And this extra purpley dark. Which kind of belongs, it's subtle. I don't want to do long continuous lines really, but that's there. See, I'll tell you what's happened is that the light that's usually on outside is no longer on. Some rather good reflections going on here though. Okay. Look at that pale colour. Some of this yellow here. I'm going to make some nice clean lights that are going to come off here. Nice. Yeah. Should be using a smaller brush really. Hey. Still, it's doing its job. Yeah, this paint isn't thick enough. I'm just going to have to make a big thick paste. It's just not going to do the job. Big fat load of white paint. And it's slightly greeny. Or slightly yellowy depending on how you look at it. Okay, that should do it. I'm going to have to trowel it on with this brush. It's just not going to do its job properly. Right, big load on that brush, and it wants to sit up there. Do it in a few sections. There's a little bit just over here. That's a thinner strip. We've got a bit of the same along there. And it kind of fades out as it goes up. Version here. It's reflecting off the inside of this. And off that window. Anywhere else? No, that works. So go in with a few extra heavy darks as well, that should help things along a bit. So hey, let's do a few of those. Make sure the really heavy darks are just right at the front. So underneath here, there's going to be some. There's going to be some in that window. Some under here as well. I've also got that blind there. This is going to mix in as it goes. Message of some kind. Check out who that is in a moment. There we go. thicker paint, really lay it on. Now my head will be in the way of it anyway, so I don't really need to worry about that too much. Greyish colour around that. That's all going to be darker under there. Mix that in. Green colour for that. A similar kind of thing over here. Does that go? Nowhere much. Now I like to pin drawings to the back of the door because I run out of wall space, and I like to just sort of put them up around the place. That's troweling on a little bit of paint. That's flattening it out so it's smoother, more like a piece of paper. It's quite fun to sort of get the paint to imitate sort of structures, if you like, whatever you'd call it. That's my lights. You know what, I'm going to put a few of those on the door because it's going to catch a few little bits. There's an edge there. Nah, not too dark. There's something in between. Hopefully this will still read as light. And if that, that canvas is too, it's too coarse. Darker version, put a bit of yellow in it, not too much. Tiniest bit of Windsor blue, some yellow ochre, and we have that grey green, which means I can leave that as a patch of a little strip of light. Same with that there. Made it straight, just shouldn't have done. And this has got a hair in it as well. Yeah, oh god, this is all a big mess now. But it's a better colour than it was before. And it gets rid of that. There's this texture to the canvas which is unsuitable for this bit of the painting. Alright, so forget those highlights then. But they're not super important. What else? There's a few bits down here. Benefit from some of that. A bit across there. So again, if I go back to a brush, the brush will naturally spread it thinner, and then the texture of the linen canvas will take over. But this This works quite nicely. I've lost my piece of paper, but that's okay. I can put that back afterwards. I can even, it's a bit like using a soft palette knife, this. I'll even put in a few of those little highlights as I go here. Here. Even work them in a bit. Take the excess off. Kind of building a door in a way. Same thing with some shadows. Make them a bit bluer, a bit browner maybe. That'll do it. That kind of gives me this, again, these shadow shapes. They're not dark enough really. Right, let's go a lot darker then. Let's mix that up. Yeah, put some of that on. Okay, and then go back to that original greenish colour I was using for the door. And I'll lighten it a bit. And paste some of those shapes in. And do that same thing here. Okay, now that's in, I can get a little brush. I can do the doorknob. The dark, slightly greenish colour. That Windsor blue goes a long way. Let's pop a bit of that in there. That shadow underneath the piece of paper that's pinned to it. A little bit of that yellowy colour. Oh. The door is quite important narratively, so that's why I'm fussing about it. Let's have a bit of that. And a little touch of a highlight. It's just the corner of the brush. And the slightest dab. There we are. Now I'm realising that these other highlights for the panels of the door are all wrong. So let's take them out. Don't need them anyway. Some interesting shapes here. Let's paste that flat. And let's move it all the way up to the top actually. Maybe I'll take that off the door because it's a bit of a distraction. Yeah, let's work it in. Get some of that slightly lighter colour. put that on top like this, and we have something a bit like a door. It's going to need some lights to go around it just to make sense of it all. I think that's where these come in. Nowhere close to white, but it is going to do a job over here. That's ugly. Not happy with that. There is a bit of a glow behind here though. And I am going to want that. Take that bit of paint away. That's not necessary. Right, definitely lumping a whole load of extra paint on here now then. Even a little bit more orange onto that, I think. Reintroduce a few brush marks. Just where it needs them. Should be a lot darker there. The edges of the shadows there. Where else? I'll do for starters. There's a few other objects in between. Hello. Good puss. Ah, Catherine, hello. Yeah, I've decided to do a whole week this week. Which I know is a bit odd, but there you go. Maybe I am a bit odd. I'll go back to my darks again. There's a few shapes to put in here. There's a piece of furniture to put in there. The side of my plan chest. Dark shapes here and there, other bits and pieces. Just put put a bit into here as well. So yeah, really chucking some thick paint on this now. Which I hope will do a job. We'll see, I guess. Speaker up there. So we've got a few other colours to sort of turn up. I've got some nice dense blues in there. I've got a little workbox there, a little poster on the side of my plan chest. Probably a couple of jars there. We'll borrow some of those. Ooh, and definitely when we get to the bookcase, a few blues around the carpet, some paler greyer ones, blues nonetheless. Let's pop a few of those in. So many things to find. Yeah, almost impossible to see. There's blues again, but there we are. Some shapes at the front of the carpet. Where else? Where else? There's some blues. Well, on the palette, obviously. There's some. It should be quite easy to paint a palette because you've got the actual colours there that you use. There you go. I won't get too carried away with that. So yes, you're on fairly normal time where you are, aren't you, Catherine? That's like a sensible hour to be awake. Not like here. But I've got nowhere to be. Which is kind of how I like it, really. Footloose and fancy free. Okay, that carpet is definitely more of a curve around there. Let me get that other colour. Too light. It'll work in here. Yes, definitely works in there. These do work as a kind of pinkish light that plays around. I want a bit more of this up there. It's also covering up that lump in the canvas. Yeah, that does something. I am a night out very much. I really wake up at night time. I think there's a thing that almost every moment of the day has some kind of routine or duty attached to it. I don't know how much that's a cultural thing or how much that's sort of everywhere, but you know, even those spaces that where there isn't really anything in particular to do, you know, that middle of the afternoon thing, it should be up to each individual to make their own. The British insist on having things like tea time. Everything's something time. You know, they're obsessed with clocks, and they're obsessed with, I say they, I mean we, but you know, I don't really identify with any particular nation or group, so there you go. But yeah, and so there is this thing that doesn't really stop until about 10 o'clock. And after 10 o'clock it isn't anything time. And when it's nothing time, well, it's also anything time. so yeah, nothing really matters, as Freddie Mercury once sang. There is this sort of time of day when there isn't anything you're meant to be doing. So in a sense, you're suddenly free to do whatever you want. And that freedom, I think, is perfect for doing things like making pictures. And as soon as you take away that agenda to do something useful, it's only then that you're really free to, you know, fail and experiment and do stuff that might not matter. And it's okay if it doesn't matter. You know, I think that's the freedom you really need to make stuff. Failure is always an option. It's one of the few, you know, making art and stuff is one of the few times in life that it's not only an option, but it's kind of important. And that you can enjoy that, you know, which a lot of people can't enjoy that. Brain surgeons, you can't just go, let's just have a muck about tonight and see what happens, you know. It's sort of a responsibility, but the artist's responsibility is discovery and I guess unearthing some kind of individual truth, and you can't do that with a whole load of rules or an idea of whether you're spending your time usefully or not. Yeah, so I mean, tonight I did a couple of hours earlier and then I had a break, and now I've come back to it, but I might not have come back to it, I might have just left it. It's the only time in life you get to do that. You don't get to do that if you're doing a job. You don't go, well, I did the morning, I just didn't feel like it in the afternoon, so I went home. You did what? Yeah, I might do a double shift tomorrow, I might not, I don't know. I'll see how I feel. I don't think you'd keep that job for long. Well, actually, I know for a fact you wouldn't keep that job for long, because I've been that employee. I must have been a nightmare. I feel bad about it, but okay, hey, we're getting some details in now. So some rather nice hang my frames up on a beam. There's a bit of red in there, which is going to work well in the bookcase. There's a dark shape, there's a dark shape. That's really steep. Even that isn't completely level. Anyway, I thought I'd go live again. I think it's gone. Because I want to make this into a time lapse when I've finished, and this way YouTube records all of it. There we go. Right, that's some better paint on there. What do I do with my knife? Ah, good, that's clean. Okay, I'll take a bit of this off. Mix some more of it. There's so little on there I can't even see what colour it is, but I think it's this sort of yellow ochre-y, bit of grey in there, bit of orange in there. Mute it down a bit. Sort of colour. That's still too bright. I'll keep that as the bright version. Make a slightly darker one. Is that a bit of green now? Warm it up a bit. Tiny bit of naphthalene red. And here we go. Smashing. Down there, smooth it off a bit. Bits of detail turning up now, courtesy of my little spatula thing. Just do a few highlights on my door. we go. Oh, that whole thing can all get scraped along a bit. It doesn't have to be super accurate. Bits of tissue in the box there. Yeah, details are starting to turn up now. Yeah, light sort of shining across that. Yay. Yeah, what else? Makes a whole load more of that dark, which is rumber ultramarine, and then a big wedge of alizarin crimson in it. There's always too much. Goes a long way, that colour. It's a nice warm dark. Doing it's completely the wrong direction for that mark. Okay, some deep shadows under there. On the walls, darken up those corners a little bit. Hey, that's good. That's too much. I was talking about putting the cat in as well. It'd be a shame not to miss him out. Now, while I've got that dark on, actually, I'm going to wash a load in. foreground there, because all of this is darker. This will make a bit more sense of it. So that's my knee there. That's the other one. That's my foot down at the bottom. Finishing this particular session up too any minute. I'm going to put some more blues around the edge of this because it's peripheral. Blues in the periphery can be quite effective. I'll put some in there as well. Across there, that won't hurt. And all the reds and oranges are going to be in the middle. Smashing. Was I going to do? Oh yeah, some kind of temporary red, just for the bits that matter. And here, oh, across here as well. Again, just got to break up the texture of that canvas a bit. Get the paint to take over. So that isn't the first thing you see. Go into the darker version down here. Down there. Once that's doing its thing, the texture of the canvas will kind of take second place to the surface of the paint. So here it's still more canvas than paint. Okay, yeah, I'm not going to do any more tonight because I don't feel like I'm going to start painting any better if I carry on. I can take a bit away though. Well, I don't know who's with me still, if that's you, Catherine, but my best regards to North Carolina. Hope you're doing well there. And yeah, thanks for joining me. Right, I'm definitely in fiddling mode. Yeah, that's definitely time to leave that alone. He says, about to fiddle with it again. No, I'll stop. Stop the fiddling. So who knows, maybe I'll be back at this tomorrow night. We'll see. Until then, toodaloo. Oh! Stream Dream Team on Twitch here. Hey, no, I'll tell you what, I'm finally on Twitch, and thanks for your comments, people. I don't know who's been and gone, but News Van, yes, I do this professionally, although it's an interesting thing. If you do something professionally, there's going to be things you do that you do for the fun of it that don't make any money, and things you do that you bash out, that you go, yeah, whatever, and makes you most of your money. So yeah, do a lot of still lives and landscapes and things, and they're good sellers. And I do some portrait commissions, and sometimes, and I've got a few collectors who buy weird things like this, so you never know if it's going to sell. It's a long way off being done, but it's a bit of fun, and it's a very bizarre mirror to paint in, but I like it. Yeah. Oh, well, this is. I'm going to have to do this late more often. Yes, learning when to stop fiddling is a big one. That's a very good point. Yeah, and I tell you what, it's a weird thing with the doing it professionally. I always say to people, the difference between a professional and an amateur is a professional is someone stupid enough to try to do it for a living. So I think that's oh well, how do I do? Yeah, I'm completely new to Twitch. I don't really know how it works. I've got to try and do it. So okay, I'm going to click the link and see where it goes. It's it's opened a new page. That's good news. Now Discord, I am on Discord. I'll just James B. There you are. No, see, I don't have a cool name. I need to think of a cool name. Can anyone think of a cool name for me? Because at the moment it's boring old James Budden. I will paint your face, something like that. But yeah, I've really got to get. I really like Twitch, and I really like the community spirit of it. I started off just streaming on Facebook, and that's really nice. There's a lot of people follow me on there, but this is a whole new thing. Yeah, that's what I'm going to call. I'm going to call myself. I will paint your face. I'll see if it fits. Right, I'm going to say I've read and agreed to Discord's terms of service, even though I haven't. Let's hope they don't steal my kidneys. No, I'm not a robot. Oh. It sounds like either yeah, you're going to be held down and have your face like painted a horrible colour, or someone's going to do a lovely portrait for you and give it to you as a gift. You don't know. Well, thanks for bombing in on my stream. That's been really nice. I don't want to keep everyone because you've got lots of other streams to go and spread the joy to. So I think that's a good one, and I'm done for the night anyway. So I'll see if I can find a way to join in, and hopefully I'll see you all again. But yeah, thanks so much for stopping by. It's been lovely, and for all your messages. And learn to stop fiddling. You have a nice night yourself. Oh, lovely. Ooh. Oh, nice. Oh, what a lovely thing. Wasn't that a lovely thing? And I don't know who's on YouTube, but thanks for coming along. I was just chatting to some Twitchers. That's difficult to say. I'm going to carry on with this tomorrow night, and eventually there will be a time lapse of the whole thing. So good night.